He thought his dream was over. A single dad, rejected, humiliated, walking away from yet another failed job interview, his last hope to give his little girl a better life slipping away. The weight of failure pressed down on every step he took until something happened he never saw coming. A moment so unexpected, so life-changing, it would not only rewrite his future, but uncover a truth that will leave you completely speechless. Meet Daniel Carter, a 36-year-old single father. His eyes carried years of exhaustion, but behind them burned a fierce love for his 6-year-old daughter, Emily. Every morning, Daniel rushed to get Emily ready for school. He tied her shoelaces with shaky hands, packed her lunch with whatever he could afford, and always slipped in a little note. Daddy loves you. Be brave. Emily was his world, but love didn't pay the bills. Daniel once dreamed of being an engineer. Life, however, had different plans. His wife left years ago, unable to handle the struggles. Since then, it was just Daniel and Emily. He worked odd jobs, barely scraping by, but he wanted more for her. Stability, a real home, a future. When Daniel saw that job listing, it felt like a lifeline, a chance to finally step up. He ironed his only decent shirt, printed out his resume, and practiced his answers in the mirror late into the night. But there was one problem: the gaps in his resume. Years of unstable work, years of sacrifice. Would anyone even take him seriously? A sleek office, bright lights reflecting off polished glass walls. Daniel sits nervously across from Mr. Reynolds, a stern-looking interviewer with sharp eyes and a flawless suit. The ticking of the clock feels louder than his own heartbeat. Mr. Reynolds continue. So, Mr. Carter, I see here you've had long periods of unemployment. Care to explain that? Daniel's hands tightened. His palms felt damp against the resume he had rehearsed presenting all night. His throat dried. He wanted to explain about Emily, about the endless nights he worked 2 jobs just to keep food on the table, about the sacrifices nobody saw. But excuses never impressed interviewers, and he knew it. Daniel, quiet but steady. I was raising my daughter alone. I took jobs where I could, to survive. But I never stopped learning, never stopped improving my skills. I know I can do this job. Reynolds leans back, smirks slightly. He shuffles papers without looking up. The silence stings like a judgment already made. In that moment, Daniel felt invisible, like his love for his daughter was a weakness, like sacrifice disqualified him from being worthy of a chance. Every word he spoke felt like it disappeared into thin air. Daniel exits the office, shoulders heavy, resume clutched tight. He passes other candidates in sharp suits with confident smiles, their cologne filling the hallway. He feels smaller with every step. He could already picture Emily's hopeful eyes waiting at home. How could he tell her again that Daddy didn't get the job? Every step away from that office felt like failure carved deeper into his soul. He wanted to scream, to cry, to beg the world for just one chance. Daniel stops on the sidewalk, notices Emily's crayon drawings sticking out of his folder bright hearts. The words, "Best Dad." His vision blurs with tears. But then, just as he thought it was over, footsteps echoed behind him. A voice called his name. Mr. Reynolds jogs out of the building, no longer cold but human. His voice shakes slightly. Mr. Reynolds calling out, "Mr. Carter, wait, please, don't go." Daniel turns slowly, confused. His resume folder trembles in his hand. The interviewer catches his breath, looking less like a boss and more like a man wrestling with something deeply personal. What Daniel didn't know was that Reynolds had been watching him closely. Not just his answers, not just his resume, but the way he carried himself. The quiet dignity in his posture, the honesty in his eyes, the quiet strength of a man who had carried the weight of fatherhood alone and never once asked for pity. Reynolds steps closer, his voice softer now. He said, "You reminded me of someone. My own father. He raised me alone, too. He didn't have the best resume either, but he had heart, he had grit, and without him, I wouldn't be standing here today." Daniel's breath catches. His chest tightens. For the first time in years, someone understood. "Mr. Carter, the truth is, you failed the interview. But sometimes, resumes don't tell the whole story. Character does. And I'd like to offer you the job, starting Monday." Daniel freezes. His lips tremble. His vision blurs with tears. He presses Emily's crayon drawing against his chest as if it were gold. Please subscribe, Bup Stories, for more powerful story like this. In that instant, the world shifted. Failure became hope, struggle became purpose, and a single father, once invisible, was finally seen. Cut to Daniel hugging Emily tightly that evening, with shaking voice. "Daddy got the job," Emily squeals and kisses his cheek. The room fills with laughter, light, and love. Sometimes life tests us until we break. Sometimes the world only sees gaps on paper, not the battles we've survived. But every so often, someone looks deeper. Someone sees the strength hidden in the scars. And when that happens, it can change everything. What about you? Do you believe people deserve second chances, even if their resumes don't look perfect? Share your thoughts in the comments. I'd love to hear your story. And if this touched your heart, hit that like button, subscribe for more powerful stories every week. And remember, kindness always wins in the end.